Narcissism and the fear of emotional intimacy, keeping connections at a distance. Emotional intimacy is the foundation of deep, meaningful relationships. It involves trust, vulnerability, and the ability to share one's authentic self with another. For narcissistic individuals, however, the fear of emotional intimacy is a pervasive challenge. While they often crave connection and admiration, their underlying insecurities and need for control create barriers to genuine closeness. This article examines the fear of emotional intimacy in narcissistic individuals, its psychological roots, manifestations, and strategies for fostering healthier, more connected relationships. Why narcissists fear emotional intimacy. Narcissistic individuals struggle with emotional intimacy due to several psychological factors. 1. Fear of vulnerability. Emotional closeness requires exposing weaknesses, which narcissists perceive as a threat to their carefully constructed self-image. 2. Control and power dynamics. Intimacy involves mutuality and equality, which can conflict with their desire to dominate or maintain superiority in relationships. 3. Fear of rejection. Opening up emotionally leaves them vulnerable to rejection or criticism, intensifying their insecurities. 4. Emotional dysregulation. Limited emotional awareness or regulation skills make navigating intimacy overwhelming and uncomfortable. How the fear of emotional intimacy manifests. This fear shapes many aspects of a narcissistic individual's behavior in relationships. Superficial connections. Maintaining relationships that focus on admiration or transactional benefits rather than emotional depth. Avoiding meaningful conversations that require emotional openness. Defensive behaviors. Deflection, steering conversations away from personal topics or emotions. Criticism or blame, using these tactics to create emotional distance when intimacy feels threatening. Emotional withdrawal. Pulling back from partners, friends, or family when relationships become too emotionally demanding. Preferring solitude or surface-level interactions to avoid vulnerability. Overcompensation. Using grand gestures or excessive charm to mask their discomfort with deeper emotional engagement. The impact of avoiding emotional intimacy. The inability to engage in emotional intimacy has significant consequences for narcissistic individuals and their relationships. 1. Chronic loneliness. Despite their social interactions, the lack of meaningful connections often leaves them feeling isolated. 2. Relationship instability. Partners or loved ones may grow frustrated with the emotional distance, leading to conflicts or breakups. 3. Emotional stagnation. Avoiding intimacy prevents personal growth and the development of deeper self-awareness. 4. Increased anxiety. The constant effort to protect themselves from vulnerability can lead to heightened stress. Can narcissists overcome the fear of intimacy? While challenging, narcissistic individuals can work toward overcoming their fear of intimacy through intentional effort and self-awareness. For narcissistic individuals. 1. Develop emotional awareness. Practice identifying and understanding their own emotions as a first step toward openness. 2. Challenge negative beliefs. Work on reframing vulnerabilities as strengths rather than weaknesses. 3. Build trust gradually. Start with small, low-risk steps to open up to trusted individuals. 4. Engage in therapy. Professional support can help address the underlying insecurities driving their fear of intimacy. For loved ones and colleagues. 1. Foster patience. Understand that progress may be slow and inconsistent. 2. Encourage vulnerability. Create a safe and supportive environment for them to express their feelings. 3. Set healthy boundaries. Protect your own emotional well-being by defining limits on their distancing behaviors. 4. Celebrate small wins. Recognize and reinforce moments of emotional openness to encourage further growth. Cultivating emotional intimacy. For narcissistic individuals, developing the capacity for emotional intimacy involves a shift in perspective and behavior. Embrace authenticity. Focus on building relationships based on mutual trust and understanding rather than performance or validation. Practice empathy. Work on understanding and valuing others' emotions to strengthen connections. Accept imperfection. Recognize that vulnerability is a natural part of human relationships and does not diminish their worth. Conclusion. The fear of emotional intimacy in narcissistic individuals creates barriers to meaningful connections, leaving them and those around them longing for deeper relationships. By addressing the root causes of this fear and adopting strategies for emotional growth, narcissists can foster healthier, more fulfilling bonds. For those supporting them, patience, empathy, and clear boundaries can pave the way for mutual understanding and stronger connections.